So when you're looking at it, emotional intelligence is an ability. It's an ability to be able to look and accurately identify emotions in yourself and in others. Now, sometimes it's a lot easier to look at somebody and figure out how they're feeling. It's not quite as easy to figure out what we're feeling ourselves. Sometimes other people know what we're feeling even better. So if people keep coming up to you during the day and saying, "What, is something bothering you?" and you keep saying no, they might know something that you don't. You see, in my house, we have an ongoing battle. My husband and I, when we talk about projects, have a different time schedule. I want them started as soon as we've agreed to them, and he wants them started as soon as he's run out of excuses. Does anyone else have that? So there was a time when all I wanted was a hook in the bathroom for my bathrobe. So I went downstairs to the shrine that holds my husband's power tools. Now, you have to get an idea of what his office looks like. It has different layers. It's like a landfill site with all of the different layers, and you can see what he's working on just by looking at his desk and kind of counting the different layers. But his garage is a shrine to all of the power tools, a special place for each one, and he's really picky about how you use them. So I walked downstairs and I walked by him and I picked up his newest power tool, and this baby had power. It was a Black & Decker cordless multi-speed power drill, and it felt good. And I walked by him, and he stopped me and said, "What are you doing with my power drill?" "I'm putting up a hook." Now, you have to understand that maybe I'm not quite as good at using some of the power tools as I should be. So he said, "Leave it and I'll do it." Okay, this is where it gets into a problem because we have a different schedule. So I said, "When?" And he said, "Listen, I'll get to it. Just leave it and I'll do it." So I was by the calendar that was on the fridge, so I thought, okay, I'm just going to circle it. And when isn't really what I wanted to hear. I wanted a date, but I said, okay, and I left it. And I circled the date, and then I waited. And I waited. And finally, fed up, I walked down, and I got that bad boy. And I walked up the stairs with a bit of attitude, and I walked by my husband again. And he said again, "What are you doing with my power tool?" And I looked at him and said, "I'm putting in the hook." Now, he said, I told you I'd do it. I took him over to the calendar because I thought this was kind of funny because I had circled it. Do you remember I had circled it? And I looked at it and I pulled him over and I said, "Honey, do you notice the date that I had circled? That was a year ago." Seriously, seriously, that was a year ago. You know what he said? I didn't say when. So we have some trust issues as far as getting projects done around the house. But we had to rebuild the whole trust issue around that particular thing. Part of it was he didn't trust me to use his power tools properly. So I've promised not to use his belt sander as a pedicure tool anymore. And he has promised that when he says he'll get something done, he actually gives me a timeline. And it's worked for us. So what's your hook? What's the trust issues that you have?